Problematic. It's a good word, isn't it? For all the jokes that have ground this word into the dirt, it does do a good job at what it does. It describes something with bits that are a tad dodge. Not all of it, but elements, certainly. And maybe we should just be a bit aware, take a moment or two and just think on. You can still enjoy the thing you're looking over, but this word can be used in a way to remind yourself to slow down and consider. After all, if I enjoy something, then I see nothing wrong in analysing it. I mean, that's kind of why I'm doing this sort of gender-swapped Eros cosplay. What better example of problematic than the Greek gods? Hades is the god of death and he's the nice one. And the things we tend to look through the problematic lens tend to be in fiction, literature, movies, characters. Characters, for a variety of reasons, you know you should not be attracted to. But for one reason or another, there's just something about them. And this is not a modern phenomena. James Dean, in Rebel Without a Cause, established the trope and the aesthetic of the movie bad boy. The movie The Sheik depicts the roguish sheik kidnapping an independent young woman, and it made Rudolph Valentino a star and idol of women across America. Even further back, going through the collection of the Bronte sisters. Almost every love interest is an emotional abuser who commits terrible acts. But it's okay, because they're just angsty that they can't be with their OTP. So tragic. So what I want to do with this video is examine and understand problematic crushes and maybe even come to terms with my own. Because I need a way to deal with this guilt. Oh, the shame. In order to get a wider perspective, I asked folks on Facebook to see some different ideas. Names have been edited out to protect the innocent. And something I was noticing was a lot of non-human characters were popping up. I'd personally say that this is the least concerning. After all, the problematic part really comes from the non-human element. Now allow me to argue that questionable point. It may be that the character is designed with more traditionally attractive human traits. Never seen a bunny with curves like that. Or perhaps the character will have an interesting personality type, the kind that, on a human, you'd normally find very inviting. Go off, King! Or the character is voiced or performed by your favourite actor that you've always rather fancied. And I get it! When I was doing my cats video, I did a section about Munkerstrap, and I did a little joke about how he's very popular with the mums. Somewhere between writing and editing, I had to admit to myself, I kind of have a thing for this man. This cat man, he's a cat, not a humanoid cat with rippling cat abs, a cat. A really attractive cat. Oh, the shame! And then there's the straight monsters, anomalies of nature that still, for some reason or another, have become romanticized, shall we say. Some folks wouldn't mind being carried away by these monstrosities. Monsters of the past have seemed to be representations of contemporary social anxieties. The dangerous foreigner, the untamable wild, the Woms! As attitudes changed, the way that we depicted monsters also changed. From brutes carrying off beautiful maidens, sometimes beautiful men, to heroes, and even love interests. This might seem like a trend that only took off in the 21st century, but I think it's something we've been thinking about for a while.
Why'd you want him, to marry the girl?
He was kind of scary looking, but he wasn't really all bad. I think he just craved a little affection, you know, a sense of being loved and needed and wanted.
See? She gets it. Back in the day, media's portrayal of mental health wasn't exactly what you'd call sympathetic, or respectful, or accurate. Why is this movie called Psycho?
A man who dresses in women's clothing in order to achieve a sexual change or satisfaction is a transvestite.
Gah! But like so many things, it's been gradually getting better representation, even in kids' shows. It's not perfect. So few things in the world are. And because there's an apparent need for sensationalism, the depictions we have now still veer towards the extreme. So any relationship these characters are written into is best described as toxic. Ooh, there's another good word. Stalking, harassment, threatening, manipulation. Upon these blocks do not a good relationship make! But why do a bunch of them have to be so gosh darn charming? Stalking and obsessive behaviour is a terrifying and often devastating thing to experience. And yet, when viewed through the lens of fiction, it becomes a vision of someone who's passionate, dangerous, and has no care for society's rules. That could be attractive, if you tilt your head the right way. So even though the narrative may have evolved over the years, it's still got a long ways to go to not idolise these poisonous experiences. Look, if this chick can see the problem and untangle herself from a toxic relationship, so can you. I had to figure out the separating line between this section and the last. Because of over-dramatically written characters, those described as having mental health conditions can also overlap into just being horrible murderers. For reasons. I mean, I popped into my local Aldi's before now, and I probably bumped into a couple of people with personality disorders, and I don't think any of them are gonna go on revenge-fueled murder sprees. They just want tempura chicken! So I decided to be defined. This is about characters who, no matter what, would be murking people left and right. So, how to defend this one? I can connect very much with this one. Just look at my undying anime crush, Vegeta. Love the character, a character who spent a lot of his life destroying planets and wiping out entire species. But he got a redemption arc, so it's all okay now. Right? The drawback there is that the author may decide to, or have no choice but to, diminish the character's previous actions. Usually with humour.
He killed 80 people in 2 days.
He's adopted.
See? Thor make her funny. Therefore, everything is fine. That also means my timeline is going to be flooded with DB Cooper memes this spring. Yay. So even if you have a character who's a mass murderer, you can give them a tragic backstory, a redemption arc, and even make them the hero of the tale. But then, others don't get that treatment and they still have fans. What's that in aid of? And this brings us back to the lens of fiction. There's a sense of security in text where the character is subject to the whims of the viewer. In real life, a relationship like this, the partner will always be vulnerable to violence. However, in the malleable world of fiction, they'd never do that. They'll kill and maim anyone else but their OTP. I think it's fair to say most people know that is not how it works in real life. If they do it to others, they'll do it to you. We might imagine Gomez Adams, but you just end up with Ramsay Bolton. Well, this got dark, didn't it? I just wanted to do a daft little video about my problematic crushes and why it's okay for me to fancy the sexy, sexy cat man. So how do I end this one? Well, the first step to dealing with a problem is admitting that you have a problem. Hi, I'm Hanorama, and I have problematic crushes. The important thing to take away is that you simply have to establish that line between fact and fiction. Just because you like the murderer stalking man-beast in the story doesn't mean you'd like that in real life. I expect better from the man-beast in my life. You can look through the lens of fiction, but don't let it shatter. You know, find the balance between enjoying something and being critical of it, and not let the former outdo the latter. After all, you are probably dedicating a lot of your time and energy and mind power on dissecting each and every part of this character or piece of media because you love it so much. So, ultimately, I don't think there's anything wrong with indulging in the occasional problematic crush. Just remember to use both of your brains. I wish there was a way we could explain that to Zeus. If you're feeling the love for this video, please give it a like and perhaps subscribe to the channel. I could be your new problematic crush.
Thank you.